Hey there everyone, thanks again for tuning into Sin's Workshop. I hope you are all having a wonderful day. Today we're going to be reviewing Fall of the School for Good and Evil by Soman Chainani. I love this series. You know what? This is like my next series. I absolutely loved this book. And mind you, I already kind of knew how it was going to end. I've been with The School for Good and Evil since the very beginning. You know, I stumbled upon it when the first book came out at the bookstore, read the first chapter, and mind you, I was like 20, 21, 22 at this point. I left with the book. I was like, I'm taking this. This is mine now. I'm going to take this and make this mine. And from that point forward, I just continuously pre-ordered every single book in this series, this one included. You know how it's going to end. If you've read The School for Good and Evil, you know one of these brothers is going to kill the other. You know it, and even if you read Rise of the School for Good and Evil, you know which brother it is. But that still doesn't stop it from taking your breath away when you get to that pivotal moment, because the brothers have been through so much, and you can tell that Rafal and Rian, they love each other. They do. But it's not so much about them loving each other, it's do they love each other more than they love power? You know? It's just so breathtaking to see the story really come alive and get to that moment. And honestly, this book was kind of just like the cherry on top of a phenomenal series. It was absolutely amazing. And it's not just, you know, Rian and Rafal's point of views. You also have Captain Hook, Aladdin, Peter Pan. You know, you have a whole slew of characters. You have princesses who want to be more than just a princess. You've got thieves who want to be heroes. And then you have characters who are so in the gray that it's just like, well, they're not really villainous, but they're not good either. But they want to do good things. And they also want to do, you know, villainous things. There's a lot of complexities when it comes to human nature. And I think that this book really delves into that kind of gray area with fairy tales. You know, what is the lesson here? The lesson here is just be true to yourself. Are there some villainous characters that are truly villainous? Of course there are. You know, just like in real life, there are villainous people who are bad to the core. But the two brothers, they're two sides of the coin. Neither of them is evil and neither of them is good. You know, Rafal and Rian are both evil and they are both good, and that's where they messed up. And you see that early on. You were just like, you guys messed up by defining yourselves as one or the other, when in fact you guys are both. You guys can be both, and that's how they really should have been it, instead of separating good and evil. And you know, the schools, they should have kept it the way that they originally started, and that's where their downfall really was. By trying to keep good and evil apart, you're really losing that balance. Good cannot exist without evil. Evil cannot exist without good. Light without darkness. You know, it's impossible. And that was their test. And you see why they failed. And you see how they're failing. And it was just absolutely amazing to watch everything unfold. To be perfectly honest with you, I love this series. I love this book. I loved everything about it. It was just breathtaking. It was a truly breathtaking series that I'm 31 now. I'm turning 32 later this month. And you know what? It was just, it's a book for all ages. It's a book for all ages. You don't have to be a child to appreciate this book, but I think children are going to enjoy it, and adults like me, you're going to see like the level of depth that went into the storytelling, and you're going to appreciate it just as much as the kids do, but for different reasons, because Chainani is such a talented, multifaceted writer and storyteller. You know, those character dynamics are on point. Those characterizations are on point. Again, you know how this story is going to end. You know what the ending entails. And then getting to that point, it still broke my heart. I was still rooting for the brothers. I really was. I was just like, no, please don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And then it happened. And I was just like, I saw that coming a mile away. I just didn't want it to happen because, again, you know that these two brothers love each other. There's no question about if they love each other or not. It's more of power. Do they love each other more than power? And you see which one does and which one doesn't. So, like it needs to be said, Fall of the School for Good and Evil is going to get 5 out of 5 stars. It was just an absolutely breathtaking series. I loved it. I love this book. I highly recommend it to everyone and anyone who loves fairy tale retellings and subverting the expectations when it comes to fairy tales, because this is not a traditional fairy tale, and it's not in any way, shape, or form a traditional retelling. It's kind of like going to the core of characterizations and the core of good versus evil and just breaking it apart and shattering it. And oh, it's so good. So good. So, in any case, I will, of course, include links in the description on where you can purchase this book. On that note, I hope you all will continue to support me here by liking this podcast, subscribing to it, and sharing it with all your book loving friends. You can also become a supporter on any of my social media platforms, Buy Me Coffee, Ko-fi, Patreon, or by purchasing one of my handmade candles. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and as always, happy reading.